We're live.
Well, we just got us another brush pile marked right here, guys. Thanks for sharing the live feed with me a minute ago. I wanted to stop and hit this pile right here. I got the locators stopped. I've got my marker buoy out. There's a lot of things here that we did in the other Fle Fly crappie fishing live feed there a minute ago, and I'm gonna ease back up in the brush pile here and see if we can get some action. Now it's right out here, mainly for my marker buoy out here by this old tree. And let's see, I'm in some stuff right here right now. There he was. He must have. As soon as I got that unhung, he must have hit it. Oh, Dominic, that's a nice one right there. Look at that crappie, everybody. Let me get up here and get turned around where you guys can see this, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the locators that we're using and how we're catching these fish and what lure we're using, and we're going to fish a little bit more and see if we can catch one. Now we're going to put that one in the live well. There's no sense in checking out the crappie gauge right there. We caught that fish on the 2.5 inch Buster Brown crappie kicker from Fle Fly, and I've got a weedless jig head right there, and that's a 1/8 ounce weedless jig head and 2.5 inch Buster Brown. Now again, we've got a marker buoy right here, we've got brush right out here, and we're just going in and we're just dabbing the crappie kickers in the brush. Now one of the things that I want to do on this live feed that I didn't do on the last one is I want to tell y'all, all our fans, that if you will share this live feed with your buddies, we're going to send somebody a package of Buster Brown 2.5 inch crappie kickers. So as you're watching the live feed, share this with somebody that you like to crappie fish with or that you like to fish with, and if your name is on this live feed, then you shared it with us or you shared it with your friends. Somebody's going to win some crappie kickers. Now we'll talk a little bit more about how we caught this fish, and hopefully we can ease up in here and potentially get another one. I'm going to be fishing with a couple. It's kind of called double dipping. I'm going to be fishing with 2 lures, and we're going to see what we can do. I'm going to put this one in the live well, and I'm going to show you the locators here, what we caught those fish out of. I'm going to show you the locator on the structure scan, and I'm going to show you what it looked like up here on the down view, or on the color sonar. Okay, Dominic, let's show them what it looked like here and why we stopped on this pile. Now everybody, people can't get enough of this stuff right here. They're always wondering, do these fish finders really show you fish? Do they really show you what you're looking for? Can you really target fish with these locators? And folks, I'm telling you, the units that they have today are unbelievable compared to just where we were 10 years ago. And this is an HDS7. As far as structure scan goes, this is a fairly inexpensive unit. They still cost a lot of money, but guys, learn how to use these, and you catch crappie like that, they become an investment and they save you so much time. So what we have here is with our water. This is on the 20-foot screen right here, and I've got this for you guys that are interested. I'm running this on pallet number 2, which is the color. I'm running right at 15% over auto, and 455 frequency. I've got it on down view, and right now I've got this stopped. So we came through here in the boat, and we saw this, and we saw some that looked like potentially some fish here, and we saw some stuff that could be a few fish around it. So we threw out our marker buoy, and we're just bouncing that Buster Brown crappie kicker through here and trying to pick off some active crappie. Now 15, 20 minutes, guys. If you can't catch crappie out of this in 15 or 20 minutes, you need to head to the next pile. So we just got stopped. We turned around. We picked us off a nice crappie right there. I run back and I actually had this stopped once we found it. I ended up stopping the color sonar up there because I'm going to show you what the tail end of the color sonar looked like, what the tree looks like on it. And now I'm going to walk back up here. Now, share this with your friends. Remember, share it. And if you do, you're in the drawing to win a package of Buster Brown crappie kickers. How many we got with us, Dominic?
We've got 39 with us right now.
Okay. Okay, now this was the tail end of the brush, guys. I didn't get this stopped in time to really see a lot of it, but the brush in that particular spot right there is about 2 or 3 foot tall. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back up here. We know about where the brush was compared to our marker buoy. We know about how deep we were. We were in 15 foot of water. We got our fish in the live well. Let's go back up here and we're going to double dip with these. I am going to spray these down with some lure flavor real fast, and then I'll be ready to get back up there. If you guys have never tried this bubblegum lure flavor, this stuff will stick to anything. It sticks to soft plastics. We've got garlic too, but I really like the bubblegum smell a lot better than I do the... And it'll stick to those soft plastics, and it actually, you fish it against crappie nibbles, and I bet you'll be surprised how well it does. The smell is fantastic. It doesn't come off, and I'll be able to smell that on my hands for the whole rest of the night. So we did a live feed earlier, and believe it or not, it's really windy. We found one bank here on the river that we can stop and fish, and the wind's kind of swirling right in here. We're going to start fishing for some white bass, but as we were looking for some white bass, we bumped into this other brush pile, and let's see if we can get another one. I'm going to turn this back on, take it off a stop, and we'll just kind of ease this way, and as we start to get into the pile, I'm going to have Dominic show you what it looks like. And it's hard to tell how fast we're moving right now, everybody, but we're moving. And if you're really moving this fast or faster, and you're trying to present a vertical presentation, you're trying to present the bait horizontally in front of the fish, but when you're moving and you're in brush, it's just a recipe to be hung up all the time. So try to get your boat stopped or move really, really slow when you're picking this brush apart. You're better off to go fish areas where you can fish right than you are to fish places where you think there might be more fish, because your presentation is everything when it comes to crappie fishing. I'm still not quite to where we were. We were just about a boat length away from the marker, Dominic.
Yeah, about 1 boat length.
You almost, sometimes, guys, when you're first learning how to do this, just trust me, just slow your boat down as much as you can. Make a good presentation with your lures. Fish your brush pile the best you can fish it. Work as hard as you can at fishing that brush pile the best you can fish it. And if you don't get a bite in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it's time to move on. Having a good locator on the front of your boat, you don't have to have an expensive locator up here on the front, but it has to be able to at least show you when you're back in the brush. Now that unit back there is a lot more vital as far as when you're searching for brush piles and you're searching for fish. You get your marker buoy out on top of a good piece of structure, and I'm starting to get into a few trees right now. You can start to see that red showing up on the bottom right there. We're in 15 foot, and I'm just going to kind of probe around this area right here and see if we can find, let me move that rod, see if we can find that brush where we picked that crappie off of.
Hey Jeff, Donald wants to know what jig you're using.
I'm using a crappie kicker. I'm using 2 different crappie kickers. I'm using a Buster Brown I'm going to stop right now. I'm using a Buster Brown 2.5 inch, and I'm using a Firecracker 2.5 inch. And we are back into some brush right now. Okay, Dominic, come up here on the other side of me so they can see what I'm looking at on the fish finder. See that brush and that on that break line right there? That's a classic place to catch crappie, guys. And you don't always have to see trees down there. I mean, you don't have to see things that, as there's so much brush, it's just ridiculous. But you want to see something down there that can hold these fish, because crappie relate to cover and they relate to shade really, really well. And I'm bouncing around in the brush. I've got some weedless jig heads on. We're working on, my buddy Mark here is working on some weedless jig heads for us here at the Fle Fly brand that are the aspirin heads. Essentially it'll be a big eye jig head, weedless for us. And I can't wait to get those out. I don't fish with weedless jig heads unless I'm really banging around in a lot of this brush, but you spend awful lot of time out here hung up if you don't have a good weedless jig head.
So we've got a question that says, so should you ever anchor in this? So should you never anchor in this situation?
Oh, you can anchor. And there's nothing in the world wrong with anchoring. The problem that you do run into with anchoring is a lot of times your anchor gets hung up in the brush pile that you're fishing, and eventually you'll tear your brush pile apart. That's the bad thing, a really bad thing about anchoring in brush piles. But if you could get 2 good anchors and set up on your brush to where you can fish that brush really, really good without moving all around, absolutely. But try to keep from getting your anchor hung up in your brush pile.
And Greg wants to know where we are.
Greg, we are in northeast Oklahoma, headwaters of Grand Lake of the Cherokees, on the Osho River. And oh, there was a little tapper. I just bumped into some more brush right there.
And Eric wants to know how deep of water we're in.
Well, right now I'm in 14, 15 foot of water. You can see the brush under the bottom of the boat. And I'm kind of bouncing around in it right now. I'm hoping that we get bent here because I'm in a good spot right now. My presentation's really good. The winds, believe it or not, seem like it's very windy, but what little wind we have is just kind of swirling all around the place. Pushes the boat here and it pushes the boat there, and we do have a lot of brush right here, but boat control and staying on the brush is just absolutely critical.
So I've got a bunch of good questions coming in right now.
Okay.
What colors do you prefer in murky and clear water?
Well, in clear water, I like the natural colors. I really like the Firecracker, the blues, the pearls, the natural looking colors. In muddy water, I like the chartreuses, the blacks, the pinks, the big contrast. Have a lot of contrast in those colors. Clear chartreuse with silver flake is one of my favorite colors. Buster Brown is always, and oh, woo, boy, he smoked me right there. Buster Brown is always one of my favorite colors in muddy water. I'd like to have caught that fish for you right there, everybody. But And this water right here is pretty murky. We've got about 1 foot visibility that we can see our crappie kickers down there. And so right now I've got on a Buster Brown 2.5 inch, which is chartreuse and brown pumpkin. And then I've got above that, I've got a firecracker, which is a natural color with red silver flakes. So I've got two very distinctive color transitions on right here.
And Sean wants to know about what time of year do they move up into shallow water?
Sean, it's all based on, a lot of it's based on what the water temperature is, but every place is a little bit different. But most of the time, like here in Oklahoma, we're starting to see crappie move up shallower once we see water temperature get about that 50-degree range, something like that. And then, you know, crappie start spawning. Really starting to think about spawning about 62 degrees. Now that's just what we have here. Every place is a little different. Oh, there we go. Woo-wee, boy, I like that. He ate the old Buster Brown. That's a nice big old river crappie right there. Now you can see, folks, I really wasn't doing anything special. I mean, I just holding the boat over the brush right there, and that's another keeper crappie for us here at Grand Lake. Boat control is everything. Using the right equipment is everything. I'm going to put this one in the live well, and let's fish a little bit more. We so much appreciate you guys. Whoops, sorry, Dominic, coming fishing with us out here. Remember, share this video with your buddies, and share it with your favorite fishing friend. Share it with your crappie fishing friend. We're going to give somebody a package of Go-Go Minnow or of Buster Brown crappie kickers tomorrow. Dominic will announce the winner if you share this live feed with somebody that you like to crappie fish with. So, as I was saying, Dominic, get up here and get the stuff on the sonar. Okay, guys. I'm almost dead still right now. I'm close to the brush where I just caught that fish. I'm not doing anything but moving the crappie kickers back and forth real slow in this brush. And I just kind of pop them a little bit just to create some vibration down there, you know, and then I hold them still. I don't do all this, and I don't swim them around and do, I mean, that's not, to me, that's not how I catch my crappie, but I got to stay on my brush, and I've kind of moved out of it right now. Again, we said this on the other live feed, y'all. We do this, I do these live feeds with Fle Fly and Team Catfish. So we help you catch more fish. We want you to be successful catching fish, because when you're successful, we sell more tackle. We're showing you how to use it. We're showing you how to target fish. We're showing you how to catch more fish. And when you're successful, our company's successful. It's not difficult, y'all. We want you to catch fish.
So Lawndale asked, can we do a future video on tying that double rig?
Tell him to go watch the live feed we just did, and it's got how we tied the double rig on there.
And Mickey asked, so is it better to use 2 jigs at once?
Well, I've got weedless jigs on here, and the old brush that I'm fishing is not real. It's not shiny. Get up there and look at that tree right there, y'all. The stuff that I'm fishing does not look anything like that. It's been laying down here on the bottom of the river, and it's really pretty slick. So I can get away with fishing 2 jigs. If I went up into something like that and tried to fish with 2 jigs, it'd be a disaster even with weedless jig heads. So I can get away with fishing 2 jigs right here, because the wood that I'm fishing is more along the lines of those big stumps. It's not real. It's the big wood. It's not all that little bushy stuff. I sure wish another one of them big Slabosauruses would run out here and pounce on this. That's a lot of fun.
John asked, do you ever use live bait?
You know, I do fish with minnows sometimes. I like to sit down at the dock and fish with minnows and sit there with my wife and her dad. Her dad is fairly old and he loves to crappie fish. And we tie up some rods with some true turn hooks and we'll sit there and might have a barley pop or two and just sit there and enjoy fishing. And I do fish with live bait. Now, when I'm out here fishing with this kind of doing this, I do not. I fish with artificials all the time. I don't live bait. You're hung up a lot down here doing this kind of stuff. Now, if I was going to anchor, you know, if I was just going to anchor and try to fish this and put some rods out, you could fish with live bait that way. But it's very difficult to continually fish with live bait and not be hung up out here. The spider riggers can do it, and you know they enjoy that. But I'm kind of a one-polar guy. I'm not too much on the spider rigging. I kind of like to feel them, thump it. And if you guys are interested in catfishing, be sure and check out our live feeds at Team Catfish. We've got a lot of fans there. We catch a lot of catfish, and we're going to start doing more and more and more of these live feeds because, honest to God, I think y'all like to watch these live feeds more than you do the edited videos. We got anybody with us, Dominic?
We've got 90 people with us right now.
Well, I need to catch another fish then, don't I?
We got another question about the length, the length between your jigs. Does it matter? Some people say 12 inches apart, some say 18.
You know, I like 16, 18 inches. I don't measure it. I just do whatever looks good. That looks good to me, you know. I want enough of a transition between those that I'm kind of fishing two different areas. I don't want them real close, and I don't want them too far apart, you know. So, you know, 16, 18 inches works real good for me. And I am using a no-stretch braided line. It's called Nanofil. You know, these crappie, they just, in this murky water, they don't care. You might as well see your line. I use white or chartreuse. I like to be able to see my line whether I'm catfishing or crappie fishing. That crappie kicker, the tail on that crappie kicker, let's just kind of show everybody what we got going here, okay? See that tail? Get down there by that, Dominic. Let's get it over here in the sun. It doesn't take very much to make that, and I'm not doing that, guys. That's the current, that's my rod tip. I'm not, you know, if I shake it, you can see me shake it. But that tail on that crappie kicker is so thin that when it's down there doing that, that fish looks alive. Let the lure do the work. You don't have to sit there and really get carried away with this. You know, I'll pop them, just pop them like that a couple times to create some vibration, and then I'll hold them still, and you can see that tail on that crappie kicker. You know, it's doing what it needs to be doing right there. You don't have to. That's really what separates the crappie kicker from a lot of the other stinger tail lures that are out there. Is the tail's so thin that it really has a lot of action. The tail actually droops. You can see it droops behind the lure when it's out of the water, but as soon as you put it in the water, the tail floats. And once it's floating, it's just dang near impossible to hold still. So let's ease back up here. I'm going to remind everybody again, share this video with a friend that you like to crappie fish with. Share it on your timeline. We're going to pick a winner tomorrow, and we're going to give away a pack of 2.5-inch Buster Brown crappie kickers to the people that, you know, Dominic's going to pick a winner tomorrow. Now, what time are you going to pick them, Dominic?
I'll pick a winner tomorrow at noon.
At noon. Okay, so there you go, guys. Share this with your friends. And I do very much appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to go fishing with us. I appreciate you spending your hard-earned money on our lures. I hope that we teach you things out here that makes you want to buy our lures, and we sure appreciate it. I'm gonna stick. You can see the brush. I'm back in the good brush here again. I'm gonna hang here for just another minute or two, and then I'm gonna shut it off. I'm gonna get back to let Dominic fish a little bit, and then we're gonna go back in and clean a few crappie.
Hey, Johnny asked, can you show the finder when you see fish on it? Johnny, I'm going to take you back here to the, our finder back here. We paused it. We paused it when we were running over this brush. And you can see, here's our brush. Your brush is right there. And these suspended things right around it, that's your fish. That's the fish that we're catching in here right now. They're suspending up around that brush. And there's some down in it. You can see the little dots down in it. That's our fish on our fish finder that we're fishing for right now. Nicholas says, I live out in Olathe, Kansas, and I go to Bass Pro to get your go-go minnows. Is there any way you can get your crappie kickers out here and get all your colors in both crappie kicker and the go-go?
The best place to do that is just order them online, but I think Cabela's has some. I think Cabela's has a lot of the colors of crappie kickers and go-go minnows. Fle Fly, Amazon has them. Walmart.com has them. We sell them at FleFly.com. I think Cabela's is the first really large account that we sell to that have both crappie kickers and go-go minnows. And we know they're all, the bad thing about going to the store and picking them up is a lot of times they're just sold out. We got a picture yesterday from a guy in Kansas City at a Cabela's store, and the go-go minnows, there was not one pack of go-go minnows left on any of the pegs. And he sent us a picture and said, hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that you guys are out of lures at this store. Well, it's really not up to us to restock the shelves. The people at Cabela's do that, and they've got automated systems that all these big accounts do that. So call ahead if you can. And I tell you what really helps us get lures to you more than anything else is when you keep calling and you keep going to the store and you keep saying, I want to buy these here. I want to buy crappie kickers at your store. I don't want to have to order them from the internet. I don't want to have to look at a dealer. I don't want to have to drive a long way to get them. I want to buy them from you, Joe, at Joe's Tackle Shop, or I want to buy them from such and such at Walmart Sporting Goods, or I want to buy them from Frank down there at the convenience store in Indiana somewhere. You have to keep going in and asking for those lures, because a lot of those people, they don't know us. They don't know that we've got crappie kickers and go-go minnows for sale. But as soon as they think they're missing sales, and as soon as they think, man, I sure wished I had some of those to sell, they'll be getting a hold of us. So if you are a wholesaler and you do sell tackle, be sure and get a hold of us, because we got great wholesale programs. We also have a VIP program. Dominic's in charge of my VIP program. If you are a guide or a tournament angler and you feel like you can help us get some exposure for our products, go to where are they going? National Pro Staff?
NationalProStaff.com.
NationalProStaff.com, and look up Fle Fly and see what we might have something there that'll work for you. Now, what we expect people to help us post on social media, and we expect people to get exposure for the VIP program that they're offered, but we do have that in place, and it might be something that you're interested in. Dominic, I'm going to swing over the brush one more time right here, and then we're going to shut it off. Any more questions before I'm not going to do another live feed today, so.
Mickey wants to know, how much is it for a pack of the firecracker jigs?
About $3. I was hoping I could. Oh, there he is right there. Now, I never felt that fish. Look at that little guy. Ooh-wee. Now, this is a good lesson for everybody. I never felt that fish bite, but I'm using this nanofil, and I saw my line rise up. That's all I saw right there. Almost didn't jerk because you can't hardly feel him. I dang sure didn't feel that little dude. Didn't feel him suck that little firecracker crappie kicker in there, but now you tell me, how'd you like to eat a cheeseburger that was that big compared to your body right there? That'd be kind of hard to get that down, but that's what that little crappie just did. So guys, whatever you do, don't ever get sucked into the fact that you think you got to use little bitty baits to catch crappie, especially in this murky water and muddy water. You want to use big baits that create a lot of vibrations. Little fish are going to eat baits that big. So that's a 2.5-inch crappie kicker and about a 5-inch crappie? 6-inch crappie, something like that. Little bitty guy. Well, that's going to be the way I'm going to wind it up, everybody. I appreciate you watching the live feed. My arm hurts after reeling that one in. No, I'm just kidding. I hope that you share our live feed. If you do share it with your friends, we're going to send somebody. Dominic's going to pick them tomorrow. He's going to pick a winner for a pack of Buster Brown crappie kickers. And you can find our products, or you can find a dealer at flefly.com. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and we appreciate you spending your hard-earned money with us. I'm Jeff with Fle Fly. Thanks for watching.